Assalamu alaikum. As I'm sure you've heard by now, Russia has declared a full-scale invasion of Ukraine with the objective, as Putin described it, demilitarizing Ukraine. The goal then is to either outright occupy the country or install a puppet regime in the place of the independent, democratically elected one. As I mentioned in my previous video, I did not expect Putin to do this. It didn't seem like Putin had enough to gain from doing this. I mean, the guy is almost 70. He has consolidated his power in his country. Some estimates have him as the richest man in the world. I figured maybe he'd enjoy whatever time he had remaining on the shores of the Black Sea before Jahannam wa bi'sa masir, as far as I can tell. But I think what happened is that Putin tested the waters first with the obvious military buildup along the border of Ukraine, got no deterring response from anyone, then tested the waters even more by essentially annexing a chunk of Ukraine's territory and sending his troops there, and again got basically no response from anyone, just basically comically weak sanctions after doing all of that. And so we figured, I guess these guys got nothing for me. There isn't going to be much downside if I just try to take over this country completely. As mentioned previously, I think the underlying motivation for Putin's animosity towards Ukraine is that he doesn't want to see a flourishing democracy on his borders, especially one that contains a people that share the same Slavic heritage as the Russian people, because this is going to give the Russian population ideas that maybe they too can live in a country with the rule of law. So he and his regime of oligarchs figured, now we have a chance to take over Ukraine. Down the line, this window of opportunity may close. I do not agree with some people who claim that this is about restoring the glory of the Soviet Union, if there ever was any. This is about the long-term survival of the Russian regime. As far as how the markets are doing, the VIX is close to 37. The VIX, by the way, is the market's fear index. So the more fear there is in the market, the higher the VIX number. For historical context, the VIX was close to 65 during the coronavirus scare in March of 2020, and it reached close to 80 during the 2008 financial crisis. The stock market in Russia fell off a cliff and also reminded us that there is a stock market in Russia. In the US, the Dow futures, because I'm recording this pre-market, the Dow futures are down 700 points. The S&P is down close to 100 points. NASDAQ is down on a percentage basis, the most, down close to 3%. Oil is up. It is close to $100 per barrel. If you look at gold prices, they are up because gold is considered a risk-off asset. Gold is up around 3%, as are many other commodities. Silver is up close to 4%. The crypto market has definitely been taking a hit. Bitcoin is faring the best. It's down close to 6% compared to Ethereum, down 9%, XRP down close to 10%, Litecoin down more than 12%. Bitcoin's price currently is at $35,400. What is going to happen from here? Well, if the Ukrainians put up a fight, then this could get really ugly before it gets any better. I suspect if this is the case, the Fed may actually back off from raising rates as economic activity will fall because of fear, and therefore their reduction in demand will be enough to curb inflation. On the other hand, if Russia wraps this up very quickly in its favor, this will be good for the markets short term, but bad long term because the world is watching and taking notes. If this ends up being a cakewalk for the Russians, there are a lot of other democratic countries that are going to become targets. And probably at the top of this list is Taiwan. So we'd be entering the first of many crises in the not too distant future. As far as what I'm doing in terms of investments, I'm staying put and maybe doing very little buying as risky assets become more and more attractive if you have a long-term perspective. If you're feeling panicked or anxious, I want you to remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists. لله الأمر جميعا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala controls everything. There's an infinite intelligence that is merciful and controls everything. You may not be able to see the mercy in events that are unfolding, but you can be sure that it is there, or else Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not have allowed it to happen. And often the harder it is to see the mercy in a certain event, the more profound that mercy is. This too shall pass, inshallah, and we'll be better off because of it. I hope you found this update beneficial. Until next time, take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum, and peace be upon you all.